Hi, Jeff. I hope you're not planning on leaving right now.
Yeah, I'm going to dance. We're gonna shoot some baskets.
Now, Jeff, you're not going anywhere until this room is straightened up.
I can't do it now, Dad. Besides, I like it this way. Why are you and Mom always picking on me?
We asked you earlier this week to clean this room, and you still haven't done it. Now, come on, Jeff. I want it cleaned right now.
Forget it.
When a child loses his temper, argues, or is resistant, a parent may feel powerless and emotionally drained. The relationship between parent and child then suffers, and everyone loses. Here at Boys Town, we care for nearly 500 boys and girls each day. Most of these children and teenagers have had poor relationships with their parents and are often defiant, turbulent young people. Over the years, we've developed ways of teaching our boys and girls to control their tempers, refrain from arguing, and in general, be more willing to listen to adults. If we could not get these children to control their anger, there would simply be no way of helping them. Though your family and circumstances are obviously different from ours, we feel our Boys Town system can work just as well in a conventional home setting. So we would like to share some of these methods with you. We believe they will be of value.
A recent national opinion poll found a majority of men and women think today's parents are too lenient. Many of us, it seems, don't set proper limits on our children. And when we do, are inconsistent in following through. In our work with the boys and girls who live in Boys Town, many of whom have a great deal of trouble obeying those in authority, we have learned that there is much a parent can do to prevent or change situations such as the one we saw earlier. To do this, you, the parent, must change first. Your child responds to your behavior. Therefore, you have to take the lead. And once you've taken the lead, you have to continue, be consistent, and follow through. You should begin by praising your child for the things that he or she is doing right. By catching your child being good instead of being bad, you'll increase the likelihood that your child will want to do things that please you. Too often as parents, we find discovering the negative aspects of our children all too easy, and we overlook the many positive, helpful things they do. In fact, here at Boys Town, we try to praise our youngsters 4 times for each time we criticize them. Second, at a neutral time when there's no conflict going on, you should discuss your expectations for your children and clearly outline how you want them to behave. One way to do this is to have home rules that are written down and that everyone in the house understands. Next, you need to make sure that your child understands there are consequences for breaking any of the family rules. Watching television, listening to the stereo, having an allowance, talking with friends on the telephone, using the family car, are all privileges that a youngster may enjoy. But it should be understood that they are privileges, not rights. Anytime a home rule is broken, a loss of certain privileges should follow. It is also very important to your relationship with your child to spend time together in recreation activities, attending school events, or simply talking or working together. Now let's return to the family we saw earlier. Let's see how the parents would have behaved using the techniques we've just outlined.
You know, we should have started enforcing the rules earlier, when Jeff was younger.
You're right. But it's not too late now.
No, it isn't. He's still here with us under our roof. And if we explain this to him properly and stick with it, he'll improve.
I sure hope so. Hey, Jeff. I'm glad to see you doing your homework without being told. Keep up the good work.
Yeah, sure, Dad. Okay.
Thanks for wiping your feet, Jeff. I really appreciate it.
You're welcome, Mom.
Jeff, your mom and I are really happy about some of the things you've been doing on your own. Why, Mom saw you picking up in the living room.
But
Well, it's time for some more formal rules. Now, we've written up a list.
why?
Well, these are family rules. They help.
No, I didn't ask what they were.
I know you didn't, Jeff, but please don't interrupt. Now, we all have responsibilities as members of the family, and these rules are your responsibility.
To make it easier on you.
No, not really, Jeff. You see, as a family, we each have different responsibilities. Now, these are yours.
You just decided they were.
No. Perhaps we should have written them down before, but they've been yours, or should have been, since you were big enough to do them.
Okay, just let me see the list.
All right? The first one concerns your room. We expect you to keep it clean. You need to make your bed and put your dirty clothes in the hamper.
9 p.m. curfew on weeknights, midnight curfew on weekends, no phone calls after 10.
Notice how Jeff's parents are handling what could be a provocative situation. Even though they're upset, they remain in control. It is extremely important to remain in control and to keep your own reaction or anger under control. Most of us feel anger at our children at some time or other. But to help any child, to help our family, or to help ourselves, we must control anger. Now, Jeff's parents will outline what is expected of him and what the consequences will be if he does not fulfill the expectations.
So that sums it up. Now we'll post the rules in the kitchen, and we'll check them daily.
Great.
And remember, Jeff, you lose privileges each time one of these rules is broken.
Why are these things I've been doing all my life suddenly called privileges?
They are privileges. We haven't called them that before because we haven't used this system before. To enjoy the privileges, to keep enjoying them, all you have to do is follow the rules.
You act like that's so easy.
Well, you've done all of these things before at one time or another. You just haven't done them consistently.
Uh-huh.
Finally, there's a special consequence for losing your temper or yelling at us, or for outright refusing to do what we've asked.
Just for yelling?
Well, it's not just the yelling, it's being out of control.
What's being out of control?
It's when your emotions, like rage or anger, control you, and you just react, strike out without thinking, without considering.
Oh, and you and Dad never do this.
Oh, yes, sometimes we do. And then we're wrong. We're hurt by our quick actions. Because being out of control hurts all of us in just about anything we do. At school, at the job, with friends, anything. If you don't control yourself, you hurt yourself.
So all these rules are just to help me, huh?
Well, it may not seem that way, but yes, these rules and enforcing these rules will help you tremendously. You just wait and see.
Chances are, if Jeff's parents had been engaged in all of these interactions with him on a daily basis, he would have been less likely to blow up at his father the way he did in the beginning of this program. His father would have reminded him of the family rule of keeping his room neat and of the loss of a privilege for the evening. In many cases, this will be enough for the child to understand that his parents are serious about following the family rules. Sometimes, however, children continue to challenge their parents. Angie can be both volatile and stubborn.
So what are you going to be doing Friday night?
Excuse me, Angie.
Just a second.
You've been on the telephone for 20 minutes. We have a 10-minute phone rule. Please hang up now.
I've got to go. I'll text you later. Bye. That wasn't fair. You didn't give me a warning. I need to talk to Marcia and Susie tonight. I have to use the phone. You never let me talk to my friends. I hate your stupid family rules.
Now let's look at what parents can do with their own behavior in the face of a child's refusal to follow instructions. You need to remain calm and in control of the situation at all times. Do not shout at or strike your child. Help the child calm down. The youngster may continue to argue, but if you stay in control of the situation, eventually the youth will calm down. Describe what your child is doing wrong clearly, without being angry or accusatory. Don't let your child make you feel guilty or draw you into an argument. Try to be empathetic. Hard as it can be sometimes, try to see the youngster's point of view. Once the child is calm and listening, go over the rules that were broken. Repeat why those rules are important to the family, and deliver the consequences for disobedience. For this system to work, you must be consistent. The child must understand that breaking rules has consequences, and that you impose the consequences each and every time. Let's take a look at how Angie's mother handled this situation.
I hate your stupid family rules.
Angie, I know you're angry. I know would like to talk on the telephone, but you need to stop yelling now.
If I don't talk to Marcia and Susie tonight, I'll go crazy. I'm stuck in this house and not allowed to do anything but follow your nutty rules.
Angie, you need to calm down now by being quiet.
You calm down.
Please stop yelling now.
Well, you started this. You caused this with all your awful rules.
Well, I know you feel these rules are awful, but they're necessary.
So you say, and I didn't know 10 minutes had passed.
I know it's hard, but we need to discuss this. So let's go to the living room. We can talk about the telephone later. Right now, we need to talk about your behavior.
Great.
Now, I realize you were upset about not being able to use the phone for the rest of the evening, but you were shouting at me. I can't talk to you at all when you're yelling at me. Do you understand what I'm saying? You should not have shouted at me, and then all you would have lost would have been telephone for the rest of the evening. But because you shouted at me, you've lost telephone privileges for tomorrow, too. Do you see how you've only caused yourself more problems?
Yeah, I guess I do.
Good. I'm glad you're talking to me and that you're not yelling. It shows a lot of maturity to be able to discuss problems in a calm and rational way. Maybe in a little while we can talk about the telephone. Now, why don't you go get ready for the algebra test?
When you begin to implement this way of handling your child's talking back, the problem may at first increase. But hang in there. It takes time to change behavior. Be patient. Children have to test the system to see if their parents are really going to enforce the rules. If you consistently apply the consequences, disobedience will decrease dramatically. Also, when your child does lose her temper, the arguing, demands, and accusations will decrease over time as the child learns you're going to be consistent and not lose your temper. We realize it's easy to say, don't lose your temper, but not always easy to do. All of us feel angry at our children sometimes, but it is up to us as parents to control that anger and not to let that anger control us. Remember, stay calm, avoid lecturing, and consistently follow through with consequences. If at the same time you praise your child for the things he or she is doing right and spend time together just talking and relaxing, you'll find that your home is a much more peaceful, enjoyable place to live.